Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Our guest today is a certified neuro-linguistics programming and timeline therapy practitioner with a mission of showing people how to excel in their business despite feeling overwhelmed by other commitments. And today she's going to stop you from feeling like an imposter. Would you please put your hands together and help us welcome to the Mental Detox podcast, our good friend, Martina Simakova.
Welcome, Tina.
Thank you very much for having me. It's very pleasure to be on your show.
It's always a pleasure. And Nini was complimenting you on your purple blouse, but we found out that it was blue. And I think this is, I think this is so true for, things like limiting beliefs. We think we have something that really gets in our way, and then we realize it's not. So thanks for joining us here. Now, we understand that you'd been going through different challenges in your life before we met you in 2018. And in 2018, you hopped off one path and you started to pursue another path. So before we had met in 2018, what was happening in your world and what had you been missing out on?
Well, before I met you, I was going through a lot of different emotions where I just felt like I'm not good enough. I can't do any more than that. I've had different profession paths. I run my own business, beauty business, for a few years. I was doing okay, but wasn't doing brilliantly because I just didn't feel like I deserved more than I could have. The emotions were really stuck with me. I guess it was something from my childhood where I've always been compared to my siblings, what they have achieved and what I haven't done. But what they didn't really realize that I'm much younger than they are. And I'm still ahead of time. I'm still doing my best. And I really just was feeling low that I couldn't do any better because no one believed in me. And I started not believing in myself. And that carried on through my whole adulthood and teenage years. So I started to work on myself, and I've come across with Daniel's some of the promotions, and I was like, yeah, I need some of that. And I always liked NLP. So I looked more into it. I've contacted Daniel and I never thought more of that. In the meantime, I always worked on myself, on my self-beliefs, and my mindset was a huge deal breaker for me. I spent hours and hours looking for solutions and I couldn't find them. So until I started working you, Danielle, that was my biggest deal breaker. I realized that my beliefs were so deep ingrained within me that it didn't matter how much I've listened to podcasts or motivational speakers or giving or saying affirmations. It didn't really matter because my unconscious mind didn't believe that I could have more until I started working with you. And I've discovered that there were so many ingrained negative emotions within me that it would have taken me a lifetime to get rid of it. And you've managed to do it within a few days. And I remember crying on every single day of your training. And I just felt like, oh my God, I'm not coming back.
Well, thank you for the nice compliment, but you did the work. You're the one who chose to make the change, and that's the most important thing. And you've been through a lot, and you've achieved incredible success throughout that time. So what does it feel like to be an imposter? What does it feel like to have that imposter syndrome? And if you could articulate some of these excuses that you'd make for yourself, just so the people who are watching understand what imposter syndrome is and how it's truly impacting them.
For me, it was, although I've had the training with you, it was very intense and I've learned so much. I didn't believe that I'm good enough. I didn't believe that I have enough knowledge for people to listen to me, for people actually wanting to hear what I've got to say. So I had the tendency of not showing up when I was meant to. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do for my business to grow. I started making excuses. I started procrastinating, and I was telling myself so many excuses why I can't do live, why I can't show up. And for me, the biggest problem was I didn't believe, yet again, I wasn't good enough, that I didn't deserve the success which was within my reach. So some days I would break my comfort zone, and I did show up and it felt great. But the next day it would be back to the same story. It's just something I felt within me, and I needed to work on it every single day. Do I have enough knowledge? Am I good enough? Is anyone interested to hear what I've got to say? So it was something I tackled every single day, and I had to work really, really hard to get over it. I couldn't do it myself. I hired another coach after our training, and we worked together for 9 months. And I worked really hard to get out of my comfort zone. She pushed me to the limits I never thought I would do.
Brilliant.
It's such an amazing insight, because these things, with the work that Nini and I do, everything we do is content free. We don't know your previous history before we meet you, and we say it's not a major concern about when we do our work. We don't particularly want to know it because it doesn't influence the work that we do. But to hear how you describe it and articulate it, that's going to help a lot of other women and men who are going through the same problem. They're going to be able to see that this is imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But it also demonstrates that if you're willing to work hard on yourself, you can make a big change. And we can see it in you, just how much you've changed since 2018. Huge changes.
Thank you very much. It took a lot of hard work to get here.
Yep.
Was it worth it?
Oh, hell yes, it was well worth it. Again, yes, I would.
Yeah.
If I had to think about what I had to go through, all the pain, all the emotions, everything piling up, going through the memories of my childhood, would I do it again? Possibly I'll have some hesitations, but yes, it was well worth it. Definitely.
Yeah. So for Martina, for our audience out there, we probably will have, quite a lot of people probably sharing the same experience as you. What kind of practical idea or the tips that you can share with us or with our audience that they can learn today and stop feeling like an imposter and the self-sabotage?
Well, first of all, acknowledge that there is a problem. Acknowledge where the problem lies within. Where it's coming from. Write a diary. How do you speak to yourself on every single day? Do you talk down to yourself? Are you negative? Are you surrounding with negativity? And that was the biggest problem for me. I had to literally cut out all the negativity out of my life. My friends, I don't spend as much time with them. Everything, I had to limit myself to the negativity and work really hard to find something which made me happy. And that is something which took a lot of hard thinking deep within, what really enlightens me and lifts me up. So I just needed to work on myself, limit the negativity around you, and just get out of your comfort zone, because it's well worth it. It's not easy, but it's very well worth it.
And being somebody who has overcome this in their own life, you're now helping other women do the same. So for people who are going through that imposter syndrome, people who are self-sabotaging, people who are doubting themselves, people who tell themselves that what you've got to say isn't worthy and why would somebody listen? How can people start to connect with you? What's the best place for them to go to start to learn more about what you do?
They can find me on social media across all the platforms under martinashimekova.com. So I've got the website they can go to. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. So they can find all the information on the social media under Martina Shimekova.
Okay, so it's martinashimekova.com, martinashimekova.com.
Yes.
And Nini and I will also paste this in the feed below.
Yeah.
And I'd encourage you that if you've been held back by self-sabotage, is connect with Martina today. Martina, I know it's very brave of you to share that today. And we're also very proud of you, and congratulations for the good work that you've done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me. I could not have done it without you to start off with. So thank you very much. I'm really grateful to have you in my life.
Lovely.
So thank you, Nini and Daniel.
It's an absolute pleasure. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you connect with Martina today. Wherever you are, have a wonderful day. Ciao for now.
Thank you.